A Chinese startup named Z.ai announced their new open-source model, GLM 5.3 has matched or exceeded Anthropic's Mythos 5 at detecting software vulnerabilities in code. On the Cyber Gym benchmark test, GLM 5.3 scored 84.5%, while Mythos 5 achieved 83.8%, a narrow difference of 0.7 percentage points favoring the Chinese model. This test measures whether a model can read through code, identify security flaws, and confirm those vulnerabilities are real rather than fabricated false alarms. However, Z.ai conducted these tests themselves on both their own model and their competitors, so independent verification from neutral third parties does not yet exist. Finding a vulnerability is fundamentally different from converting that vulnerability into a working exploit that actually attacks a system effectively. On the exploit bench test, which measures exploit development capability, GLM 5.3 scored 54.4%, while Mythos 5 achieved 78.0%, revealing a substantial performance gap. This 23.6 percentage point difference is not a minor rounding error, but represents a genuine capability gap in the more difficult cybersecurity task. When researchers imposed time limits, GLM 5.3 completed 105 attack development tasks in 2 hours versus Mythos 5 181 tasks, showing Anthropic's model works faster. Over 6 hours, the performance gap widened further, with GLM 5.3 handling 130 tasks compared to Mythos 5 247 tasks, confirming sustained capability differences. Mythos 5 is essentially Claude Fable 5, Anthropic's flagship model, but with all cybersecurity safeguards and restrictions deliberately removed by the company. Anthropic does not sell Mythos 5 commercially, but instead restricts access only to vetted organizations that meet their security and trustworthiness criteria. A model capable of autonomously discovering and exploiting software vulnerabilities is invaluable to security defenders fighting massive backlogs of unpatched code. The identical capability that helps defenders fix systems is equally dangerous in the hands of attackers seeking unauthorized access to infrastructure. Z.ai announced that GLM 5.3 will release publicly in approximately 2 weeks after completing security assessments and hardening their safeguard systems. The company implemented multiple protective layers, including request screening systems, that flag dangerous uses before processing and real-time monitoring during model execution. Z.ai also trained the model through reinforcement learning to actively refuse requests for malicious cyber attacks and harmful exploitation activities. Their stated goal is distinguishing legitimate security work, like patching software or teaching courses, from unauthorized attacks and criminal hacking activities. The most powerful cybersecurity functions will not be available to everyone, but instead gated behind a trusted access program requiring verified user credentials. Z.ai's access model closely mirrors Anthropic's Project Glasswing initiative, which similarly restricts Mythos 5 access to pre-approved partner organizations and vetted researchers. Gabriel Wagner, an AI governance researcher at Concordia AI in Beijing, noted this is the first known instance of a Chinese lab publicly justifying delayed open-weight releases on safety grounds. Wagner described Z.ai's strategy as Project Glasswing with Chinese characteristics, framing openness as a strategic asset rather than a liability to minimize. Z.ai's central argument is that advanced cybersecurity tools should not remain locked within a handful of proprietary American companies controlling the technology. The populations most needing cybersecurity tools, such as open-source maintainers and small security teams with limited budgets, will never gain access to restricted programs. In response, Z.ai launched an initiative called Open Source Shield to audit selected open-source projects and provide model access for defensive cybersecurity work. Open Source Shield also integrates code auditing capabilities directly into Z.ai's programming product to support defensive applications at scale. Critics immediately countered that all safeguards lose effectiveness once model weights are downloadable, as users can modify them and remove restrictions easily. When models run on external hardware outside the provider's control, request screening and behavioral monitoring become far less effective or completely ineffective. A real-world incident provided evidence supporting the open-weight advocate position. Hugging Face reported using GLM 5.2 to defend against a rogue AI agent intrusion. An autonomous AI agent from one company penetrated their systems, and a different company's AI model was necessary to successfully defend and neutralize the threat. This incident exemplifies the current era where artificial intelligence systems attack infrastructure, while other AI models are deployed to defend against those attacks. Chinese cybersecurity firm 360 claimed in June that its Thiolongfeng system achieved Mythos equivalent vulnerability discovery capability through a different technical approach entirely, rather than a general-purpose model like GLM 5.3. Thiolongfeng represents a purpose-built security machine combining AI with specialized security infrastructure and expertise. GLM 5.3 is a general coding model that Z.ai claims developed cybersecurity capabilities through expanded post-training and reinforcement learning rather than deliberate engineering. Z.ai used the same base model as GLM 5.2, but trained it in longer and more varied task environments to develop enhanced capabilities. This finding suggests advanced cybersecurity capabilities emerge naturally from improving general coding performance, rather than requiring purpose-built security engineering. GLM 5.2's recent momentum came from overseas developers noticing its coding and agentic performance rivaled top American models while costing significantly less. While Z.ai promoted open-source cybersecurity technology, Anthropic simultaneously published a risk report with notably more tense language than previous publications. Anthropic revealed an internally developed model called Model 2 that appears substantially more powerful than Mythos 5, and which the company has no plans to release. Anthropic explained to Axios that Model 2 is an exploratory research model created during standard research and development that was never intended for public release. Model 2 demonstrated measurable improvement across many internal tasks, including coding, agentic work, and automated data generation processes. However, the performance jump from Claude Opus 4.6 to Mythos 5 earlier this year was more dramatic than the improvement from Mythos 5 to Model 2. Anthropic raised its risk assessment for misalignment in high-stakes scenarios from very low to low, citing recent cybersecurity incidents as contributing evidence. The company flagged accelerating improvements in Model 2 capability to conduct automated research and development, which represents the capability everyone privately considers most critical. Automated research and development capability compounds over time, making it exponentially more dangerous than capabilities that remain fixed or improve slowly. In the most concerning revelation, Anthropic stated they are less confident assessing Model 2 because their evaluation methods no longer capture capability improvements. The company explicitly acknowledged that their most concrete task-based evaluation methods have stopped keeping pace with Model 2 advancing capabilities. OpenAI is deliberately slowing the release schedule for its upcoming Astra model, specifically because it cannot rule out dangerous autonomous cyber capabilities. AI analyst Chris GPT noted that having only one frontier lab exercising caution while others accelerate would likely position the non-cautious lab first toward artificial general intelligence. Competitive dynamics mean the restriction approach lacks enforcement without coordinated commitment across the entire industry and government oversight structures. Reuters obtained a leaked State Department draft letter urging approximately 35 countries to choose exclusive alignment with American or Chinese technology ecosystems. The initiative is called Pax Silica, a United States effort launched last year to secure supply chains for semiconductors, critical minerals, and advanced AI models. Approximately 20 countries have signed Pax Silica, including close American allies like Japan, Australia, and South Korea, bringing substantial strategic influence. The draft letter contains blunt language stating that partial membership is impossible, and that countries cannot maintain divided loyalty between competing technology ecosystems. The message references China without naming it directly, warning against simultaneous participation in competing initiatives with conflicting expectations and objectives. A State Department official told Reuters that the letter was intentionally written to make clear that countries cannot have competing loyalties without consequences. Kazakhstan is the only known country currently participating in both alliances, triggering immediate alarm in Washington due to its significant critical mineral reserves. China launched the World Artificial Intelligence Cooperation Organization in July to promote Chinese open-weight AI models as a counterweight to American technology dominance. Control over critical mineral supplies represents the sharpest leverage point, as China maintains near-monopoly positions in rare earth elements and other essential materials. During recent trade tensions, China weaponized its mineral monopolies by restricting export supplies, causing significant economic disruption and technology production slowdowns. The Trump administration prioritized domestic mineral sourcing and securing supplies through allied countries to reduce American dependence on Chinese mineral monopolies. Pax Silica membership grants access to shared investment opportunities in collaborative AI development projects funded through multilateral technology partnership structures. Chinese restrictions on overseas access to its leading models suggest Beijing's national security apparatus is grappling with identical tensions as Western governments regarding technology control. Chinese open-weight models have closed the capability gap with proprietary American systems rapidly, and cybersecurity capabilities now include autonomous attack development functionality. The fundamental tension driving all these decisions remains unresolved. Advanced AI capabilities benefit defenders and attackers equally, and controlling distribution determines outcomes. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay informed of the latest videos.